What's up, y'all? Travis here, Carry Me Back Farms, Carson, Virginia, for step number 3 of the 2026 produce crop from start to finish. Today is all about moldboard plowing. Y'all hang on. Moldboard plowing. People have been moldboard plowing for 200 years. However, in recent years, people have kind of stopped doing that. And that's because it's not necessary anymore for your most conventional farming of corn, beans, cotton, stuff like that. However, for produce, it still provides some pretty distinct advantages. One being weed control. We do not raise any GMO crops here on this produce farm, which means that we cannot just go out there and spray Roundup over top of our produce, which means that we have to find other methods for weed control. There are some things we can spray, but as a general rule, mechanical weed control is what we stick with. And that starts with the moldboard plow at the beginning of the season. This is my moldboard plow. It is a 5-bottom Pittsburgh plow. I do not know how old it is. It was just serviced this winter. It's had new plowshares put on it. And I'm going to show you all about this plow. Tell you how it works. Then we're going to watch how it works in some videos. So when I say it's a 5-bottom, this is what I mean. That's one plow bottom. There's 2, 3, 4, and 5. Which means that at any one point in time, when this plow is successfully sunk in the ground, it's turning over 14 inches of dirt for each bottom, or 72 inches at a time. And that starts right here with this coulter. This coulter is designed to cut the ground in line with the plow bottom right before the plow bottom flips it over. Now, I'm definitely no moldboard plow expert, but I have run some plows before that did not have a coulter. And if you've got a pretty well established field of weeds, that plow is going to get bogged down quite quickly, because that coulter cuts the roots that's in front of it so that the bottom can successfully flip it over. I would never ever buy a moldboard plow that did not have coulters on it. Those things are worth their weight in gold to me when I'm trying to flip dirt over. Each one of these bottoms has a fully functioning coulter on it, and without it, I would throw this whole thing away. This is a semi-mount plow, starting here in the front, which means that it uses the bottom 2 points of the 3-point to pick it up. The front of the plow is supported by the tractor. The back of the plow is supported by that wheel. So when I need to raise this tractor up in the field, I have to raise the 3-point, and then I have to raise the rear with the remote hydraulics. Just one little hookup, that's all it takes. This is a in-furrow plow versus an on-land plow, which means that my right wheels of my tractor, after I make the first pass, will be in the fur, which means that I need to adjust my tractor accordingly. Unfortunately for me, my 40-20, that part is kind of seized on it, so it's not really adjustable. So when you watch these videos, this plow is going to be turning dirt, and I think it turns it over just fine, but it technically is not set up correctly. Now, this thing also has a gauge wheel right here. That is going to set the depth for the back part of the plow. And right now it's set on 8 inches. And after some checks in the field, it is successfully plowing 8 inches. So I'm satisfied with that. And then this little relay rod right here, every time the tractor turns the 3-point, this relay rod goes to the back and that wheel turns in the opposite direction, which means this thing doesn't necessarily turn like a trailer, but it does turn very well. Sometimes it can be hard to back up. And then we've also noticed that this wheel is on a tilt and is slightly to the left. And that's because this thing is designed to ride, this wheel is designed to ride in the furrow, and it's supposed to guide at the edge of the furrow to try to keep the plow from moving directions it ought not to. Now, back to the bottoms. Some of y'all probably don't know, but there are pieces to the moldboard plow, and they're fairly easy to see right at the moment. So the plowshares down there, they're actually brand new this year. We plowed with them last weekend. They've been sitting for about a week. Normally when you're done, you would want to put something on them to stop them from rusting, but we are not done plowing. So less than 50 feet in the field, we'll clean up this little bit of surface rust that's there. At the end of the season, we will oil it down to try to prevent surface rust, but in all honesty, it don't take long in the dirt for this thing to wipe away all that surface rust. So right here at the bottom is your plowshare. It's held in by special plow bolts. You see those bolts right there? They're just flush on the top. They're kind of like a carriage bolt, but they're flush on the top. So those are brand new this year. They've got, at this point, 6 acres on them. Then you have the shin right here. That's this piece is held in by 2 plow bolts. That begins the flip of the dirt. So the shear cuts it, the shin begins the flip, and then this large piece right here is the moldboard. That's what does most of the flipping. That's held on by 3 more plow bolts, 2 right there, 1 right there, and 1 down there. Then you have the trash board on the top. That's for when you're really plowing deep, which I do. And that right there assists the moldboard in flipping. And you'll be able to see how the trash board operates real well in these videos. And then the last piece over here is the landslide. And that slides on the ground and it kind of rides on the edge of the fur that the plow just cut. And that works to kind of stabilize the plow and stop it from going from side to side. Then the piece that all of that bolts to, kind of hard to see with the shade, that's called the frog. And then the frog bolts to the main body of the plow. Then the plow bottom assembly bolts to the frame where all the other plow bottoms bolt to. This is a breakaway plow, which, as you can tell, I have tested and verified the functionality of all the breakaways. There is a new bolt there that I put in this spring. So when this plow, if I'm plowing new ground and I catch a root, what it's designed to do is the frog, which is the inner piece right here, that will fold forward, allowing what has been caught by the shear to go up underneath of it. And then at that point you would have to stop the plow, raise it up out the ground, and push the plow back in. This is not an automatic reset plow, and in all honesty that doesn't provide me any issues because there's not a lot of new ground that I'm breaking. And even if I were, typically I'm going to run a disc through it first to try to chop up anything, and a disc will tend to find roots, and my disc digs deep, so I'm able to kind of determine if there's any roots in that field beforehand. But this is my 5-bottom plow. That's how it hooks up to the tractor. That's how it operates. It is an old Pittsburgh. You can still get parts for it, and I do. So let's move on and we can watch how this thing works in the field. All right, y'all. Well, that'll about do it for this video. Hope y'all understand a little bit more about how a moldboard plow works, and I hope y'all enjoyed the footage I got. The next video will feature some kind of tillage for step 4. Some of this stuff needs to be disked. Some of this stuff needs to be field cultivated. Some of it needs both. And then typically a final step before I lay plastic will be a rotary tiller. So I don't exactly know which piece of tillage is coming next, but some kind of tillage is coming next. Till then, I appreciate y'all watching. This is Travis here at Carry Me Back Farms with that taste of the South that you can't live without.